Blame yourself if I don't love you. Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Emma. Welcome to the show. Be sure to subscribe and give this episode a thumbs up. Robin Brown is still getting the heat for the family's problems, and in all honesty, it makes sense. Sister Wives viewers had long been theorizing that Cody Brown's fourth wife was treated differently. And as Robin's actual reality came into view in the second half of season 19, individuals felt completely vindicated. It seems the other three wives knew well they were being overshadowed, even though Cody and Robin felt they kept their soulmate relationship hidden from the family. Ever since she broke with Sister Wives, Christine Brown has been a consistent voice of reality. The six-time mother has finally ceased enabling Cody's bad behavior, and her honesty is setting TLC followers buzzing. On the April 20th installment, during an outing with husband David Woolley, Christine dished out the tea that Robin had been placed on a pedestal, the same pedestal upon which she had once fantasized. Christine made it known to viewers that she felt left out of her marriage, describing, "I thought Robin's couch was better." She didn't stop there. She described how Cody's favoritism would consume her and said, "I thought she had nicer dishes and better decorations and so many other things. Why am I always left with the scraps?" Christine questioned, making it clear the point of feeling tossed aside, both emotionally and financially. "Because of your support, I am more independent and stronger than ever," Christine told David. "There is no 50-50 here," she added enthusiastically. David responded to his wife warmly, telling her that no one should ever keep score in a marriage and that he and Christine give their whole hearts to each other. Christine replied to David, "It's sad that some people actually do keep score." Lastly, Christine Brown confessed her jealousy to Sister Wives fans. At the same moment, she told them that she had been envious of how Cody interacted with Robin. She recalled a specific holiday to show exactly what she was talking about. Throughout the length of their union, Christine said there were so many moments when Cody was present, and it seemed that appearances were important than anything else. "We'd go camping, and Janelle and I would be out there slaving away, making breakfast, picking up trash. And for real, Robin would still be applying her makeup until the end of time," Christine recalled. "It was such a big deal back then." "To him," she explained. The 6-year-old mother continued, stating that Cody did nothing to improve the situation by constantly telling Robin how good she looked. Christine went on, "It's no wonder I was always insecure and second-guessing everything, because he was always comparing just as much as I was. Robin," Christine felt, "was placed on a pedestal, while the rest of them were made to feel less than. I always felt like I was in deficit in the relationship," Christine confessed. Robin, on the other hand, was quick to respond with, "I was 6 months pregnant the one time we went camping, and I spent the night outside my tent on my hands and knees throwing up because I got sick so much." On Sister Wives, though, it's clear Robin Brown still can't see that she's the issue. Responding to David and Christine's genuine conversation, Cody's fourth wife continued, "And then, Janelle and Christine were making breakfast, and I was just trying to get up and get ready for the day." No surprise here, her words denied outright Christine's allegations. When a relationship is truly united, you don't really keep score because you have this cloak of charity you drape over the person you love, Cody said, in defense of his view of marriage. Robin challenged the dynamic, asking, "If you're always sitting there using a scoreboard against one another, then what are you, enemies?" For Robin, it was all about communication. She remembered the cameras. "I felt like there was definitely unfair fighting going on when we were all together," and made sure to state again that the failure to properly communicate had everything to do with the demise of the family. Even after more than a decade of being in front of the cameras, Robin and Cody still refused to believe that their tough-talking relationship was a major factor in the downfall of their polygamous paradise. "There's just so little trust between everyone," Robin said. But it's painfully clear that the way Cody treated all of his wives led to horrific suffering and loss of self-worth. Yet Cody is still insistent that his first 3 wives, not he, were to blame for the failures of the marriages. Sister Wives has been a TLC favorite since 2010, and while the series has a lot of history, it also has a history of mishaps. Year after year, the Browns have run into problem after problem, with egos generally splitting up the family. As season 19 comes to a close, remembering the mistakes of this polygamist family appears more necessary than ever. And in fact, following it back to its beginning isn't hard at all. Let's take a look up close. In the Sister Wives family, Robin Brown was the true wild card. She intentionally placed herself into a pre-existing polygamous family. Whether she intended to or not, Robin, who was previously married to David Jessup, started dating Cody Brown shortly after her divorce in 2007. The two first met at a party at Robin's cousin's home, and from there, the two of them were off and running. Season 1 of the show followed their early romance. From the start, fans noticed that Cody was treating Robin differently. He was spending so much time with his new wife, even kissing her, which made him late to Christine Brown's daughter, Truly Brown's birth. During season 1, Cody was called out for giving Robin a large wedding, after he had told his first 3 wives that large ceremonies were not permitted. Finding out that Cody had even helped Robin pick out her wedding dress was salt in the wound. Mary Brown, Christine Brown, and Janelle Brown began to feel resentment and jealousy, which soon caused significant rifts in their relationships. Before long, it was clear Robin was seen as the favorite wife. Once Robin was brought into the Utah compound, she was the neck that turned Cody's head, and nothing was ever the same again. When the Sister Wives moved to Arizona, many wondered why Cody thought that relocating the family was the right choice. Fans will recall that the family fled Utah under the cover of darkness for fear Cody would be jailed, although Lehigh authorities later claimed they never actually pursued charges for Cody's polygamy. The kids were distraught at first. No one wanted to move to Las Vegas, but the Browns soon adjusted to 4 perfect homes on a private cul-de-sac. Things were wonderful. That is, until Robin felt the need to relocate again. Peyton Brown later reported that Dayton Brown's admission to Northern Arizona University, NAIU, was the purported reason for the sudden relocation. The family had initially considered relocating back to Utah to be closer to family, said Peyton. But he added, and I'm not promising anything. There's nothing like, hey Flagstaff, Arizona is a great place to move. But I cannot speak to Dad's illness. They had no family there. Peyton went on that it was as though there was no justification. Yet nonetheless, Dad decided that because Dayton was accepted into now, the whole family needed to move once more. Robin then spoke up and said, well, I can't let my little boy go. Which is what she told Dad, Peyton recounted. We weren't moved for Dayton. We were moved for Dad's favorite wife. If Robin had been able to sever the umbilical cord, Dayton would not have had such restrictions. The older Brown children, especially, began to rebel against this move. Cody continued to play the victim in what seemed to be an epic Jedi versus Sith battle. The pandemic of COVID-19 was seemingly the tipping point. Cody's college-age kids were not excluded from his more stringent rules, which seemed to be even more prohibitive than the ones the CDC had in place. Many believed that Cody and Robin enjoyed living in their own world, and not necessarily interacting with the rest of the family. The kids naturally took it personally. Christine and Janelle have both spoken out about how their kids yearned for a relationship with their father, especially since 2023. But Cody blamed them for the divide. On season 17, Cody said he did not think he was leaving his kids behind because they had betrayed him by turning their backs on him. He also blamed his kids for scheming against him and cutting him out. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. The patriarch apparently does not understand that his actions only made things worse. Cody tried to kick Gabriel Brown out of the house, referred to Maddie Brown as the family gossip, and missed Isabel Brown's spinal surgery. All of these things, each of which was marked by a lack of empathy, were contributing factors to the breakdown of the Brown family. Unfortunately, I don't believe anything can be done to repair it at this juncture. Sister Wives followers have been emotionally invested in the recent drama involving Robin Brown over the past several years. and many followers have blamed her as the instigator of the downfall of the Brown family dynamic. Much of this has to do with the widespread feeling that Robin received preferential treatment within the family. As reality was unveiled in the second part of season 19, long-standing suspicions of Robin's preferential treatment seemed to be substantiated. It became clear that the other wives felt left out and ostracized, despite Cody and Robin's attempts to hide their special bond. Christine Brown, one of the more outspoken members of the family, hasn't been afraid to speak her mind. The mother of 6 has made it clear that she no longer feels the need to shield Cody or his questionable decisions from the public. Her candor has been popular with fans, particularly after she broke down about her feelings on a recent episode of Sister Wives. During a private conversation with her husband, David Woolley, while on tour, Christine spoke openly of being excluded from the marriage and of Robin's lofty position. Christine's words were filled with the frustration of years, naked and painful to hear. She described how she always felt that Robin received special treatment and how she coveted the more indulgent things and activities that Robin seemed to enjoy. It was like Robin had the better sofa, the better plates, the better ornaments, and so many things that made it feel like I was always at the bottom, Christine admitted. Christine continued, sharing the hurt of Cody's blatant favoritism for Robin and how it made her feel disposable. Why do I always get the leftovers? Leftovers of time? Leftovers of things? It was like I was never enough, she wondered. Despite the hurt in her voice, Christine was tough in a new manner in her current life. I am stronger, more self-reliant now than I ever was previously because you're so supportive, she told David. In his ever-encouraging style, David told her that scorekeeping did not belong in a marriage, that one had to give it their all in a relationship. But Christine said her latest marriage was different, and many longtime fans had speculated that Cody's attitude toward love and marriage was less than equal. Christine had a rare moment of brutal honesty when she said, "They keep score, and it's sad," which struck a raw nerve. She also admitted that she had dealt with jealousy for many years, specifically how Cody treated Robin. She brought up a specific family vacation, pointing out how Robin's constant insecurity only added to the emotional stress she felt in their relationships. Christine Brown opened up about the ways in which Cody's preoccupation with physical appearance impacted their marriage. "There were so many times during my marriage to Cody when he was obsessed with our looks," she explained. She went on to describe how, when they went on family camping trips, she and Janelle would do hours of cooking and cleaning just to sit and wait while Robin took what seemed like hours getting ready. It was like you had to always be perfect looking. It was so important to him, Christine described, outlining how this constant focus on appearance made her feel inferior. Cody's constant compliments about Robin's looks added fuel to the fire, causing Christine to feel increasingly insecure and miserable. "No wonder I was always questioning and insecure," she admitted. Naturally, Robin responded to all of these comments, telling her side of the story. "As much as I was comparing myself, he was comparing us all the time," Robin said. She recalled a specific camping trip when she was 6 months pregnant and wasn't feeling at all well. "I spent the night vomiting outside my tent, and it wasn't easy for me," Robin said, defending herself while Janelle and Christine made breakfast. Despite their disagreement, Christine's words moved a lot of viewers who could relate to her feelings of rejection and bitterness. Robin, however, seemed unaware of how much her privileged position in the family had hurt Christine. She still maintained that open communication was the sole means through which the family problems could be resolved. In an interview on camera, Robin spoke about how she believed the family fell apart was largely due to distrust and fighting constantly. She indicated that all of this could have been avoided if only the family had just talked more. Cody, however, didn't see eye to eye with Christine's words, particularly the notion of keeping score in relationships. Cody said in a confessional that this was never a part of a healthy relationship. Robin, the ever-diplomat, agreed, saying that keeping score was indicative of other issues. Cody explained, "When a relationship is tightly knit, you don't keep score because you wear a cloak of charity over the person that you love." Robin added, "If you're always using that scoreboard against each other, What does that make you? Enemies? Sister Wives viewers, however, are keenly aware that Robin and Cody's failure to resolve the egregious imbalance of their marriage has been a driving factor in the deterioration of their family structure. Though Robin may argue the true reasons behind are communication and trust failure, it's evident that Cody's favoritism of Robin and his endless comparisons to his previous wives gave rise to an abusive and toxic environment. Besides, it cannot be denied that Cody's action towards his first three wives, particularly Christine, was one of the primary sources of the end of their shared life. All of that was turned upside down when Robin Brown entered the picture. Robin was not another wife to a pre-existing polygamous family. Her entry into the Brown family altered the entire dynamic. Robin had previously been married to David Jessup before marrying Cody. Following their divorce in 2007, she met Cody at a family reunion, and their connection soon blossomed into something more. Since the beginning of Sister Wives, their evolving relationship was in front of them, and fans immediately caught on to how Cody treated Robin differently than his other wives. Early seasons were sure to show that Cody's love for Robin was much stronger than his relationships with his other three wives. He openly boasted his affection for her and publicly given physical displays in front of the cameras on more than one occasion. A clear display of such bias occurred during Christine's labor, when Cody remained with Robin rather than showing up at duty in the delivery room. This precedent created the favoritism that generated strong conflict and dislike. Mary, Christine, and Janelle, Cody's other wives, might be found shouldering the bulk of this newfound publicity. House dynamics began to shift, and jealousy and resentment began simmering just below the surface. Robin's becoming part of the family further strained the divide, for Cody's partiality fueled the increasingly tense air. Insult to injury was their opulent wedding, which was in stark contrast to the less elaborate ceremonies that had preceded it. Cody even took part in selecting Robin's wedding dress, adding to the feelings of inequality between his other wives. The decision to select Robin's wedding dress was a move that incensed Cody's earlier wives and served to help fan the growing schism in the family. This division would only grow as the years passed. Robin had clearly established herself as a distinct presence in Cody's life, one that only grew more intense when they moved to the family compound in Utah. She had truly become the neck that made Cody turn his head, altering the family dynamic. What had been a close-knit partnership began to unravel, and the peace in the family was disrupted forever. Subtleties, and less than subtleties in their internal dynamics, laid the groundwork for the coming chaos. One of the most puzzling decisions Cody ever made was moving the family from Utah to Arizona. Sister Wives enthusiasts are aware that the Browns left Utah in haste because of concerns that Cody's polygamous lifestyle would land them in trouble with the law. The Browns relocated to the Las Vegas suburbs in haste, even though the city of Lehi denied any inquiries about the family. At the beginning, the move seemed like a fresh start, but long enough later, it was clear this was not the joyful new beginning they had looked forward to. The unexpected relocation left the children especially bewildered, and they were plainly disillusioned with the move. The family stay in Las Vegas was brief, and the eldest Brown siblings were most skeptical regarding Cody's subsequent large move, this time to Arizona. Robin's son Dayton's admission to Northern Arizona University was the catalyst for having to relocate once again, Peyton Brown said. Peyton said it wasn't the family's needs, but rather Robin's desire to be close to her son. If Robin could have emotionally distanced herself from Dayton, Peyton believes the family may never have relocated. Rather, Cody complied with Robin's insistence and moved the entire family to Arizona, an action that marked their family history's turn at a turning point. The move underscored Robin's growing dominance over Cody's choices and helped to keep fueling animosity among the wives. While the Browns settled in for a new cul-de-sac in Arizona, the feeling of togetherness in the family began to break down. The psychological cost of their parents' behavior began to take its toll on the Brown children, especially the older ones. The tensions increased even further with the COVID-19 pandemic when Cody enforced stringent lockdown policies that were viewed by many of the college-age children as unnecessary. While the CDC's recommendation was stringent to start with, what Cody did was beyond, creating what most people viewed as an elitist bubble for his family, imposing additional isolation on the rest of the family. The older children, already threatened by the destruction of the family, rebelled against the stern rules of the father. Both Christine and Janelle Brown have complained of frustration, explaining that their kids were attempting to maintain relationships with Cody, yet his behavior pushed the gap farther apart. His failure to regard their children's emotional well-being, particularly his inability to acknowledge their distress, placed a mammoth burden. Cody publicly shamed his children on several occasions. One of the most telling being when he accused them of betraying him for shunning his overtures to reconnect. Quite a few viewers thought this was especially hypocritical, given how Cody had handled his children during the years. For example, he missed significant milestones in his children's lives, such as when his daughter Isabel underwent spinal surgery. He also had a highly publicized altercation with his son Gabriel, to the point where he even attempted to evict him from their home. These actions, in addition to Cody's failure to prioritize his children's emotional requirements, were the major contributing aspects towards the family's breakup.